crafters, it's Karen, and I've been working on some pocket page letters. And as we all know, this is an idea that was shared by Jeanette Lane, and I think we all appreciate her sharing it because we're all having such a good time with them. But for me, in the beginning, it was really hard for me to do this. I mean, I've created several ATCs before. I mean, I don't have a problem creating an ATC, which is a 2.5 by 3.5 size card, artist trading card. And, you know, that's never been a big challenge for me. But then when you have to create 9 of them, you know, and kind of make it cohesive, you know, then I struggled with the idea. Until I thought about it and I felt like whatever theme I was working my pocket page letter on, that's the theme that I would send my embellishments. And like, for example, this one is one that I've done in the vintage Tim Holtz theme pocket page letter. So I've included items and embellishments for the receiver who gets this, so that she will have whatever she needs to create a Tim Holtz themed letter or not letter, I'm sorry, tag or ATC or card. So in that way, that's the only way I was able to wrap my head around getting one of these done, is to do them in a theme and coordinate my embellishments so that whoever received it would have what they would need to, you know, create a tag or a card in that same theme. I hope I've explained that right, but anyway, that's how my mind worked around completing these pocket page letters. So this first one, like I said, I did in the Tim Holtz vintage theme, and I did start to number them. So this is the first one that I've done, and I just, all of these ATCs are already you know, ready to cut out in his 12 by 12 paper. I think it's Stash. I forgot the name of his paper pad, but you know how Tim Holtz always has the ATC cutouts in his paper collection. So that's what these are. And then I'll just start at the top. So for the first one, I created a whole lot of embellishments. I did a video on them using the Tim Holtz Alteration Sizzix dyes, and then you know, I colored them with either the ink or the distress paint, and then I went over them with thick embossing powder. So everything that is adhered here can be removed easily by you know, the person who receives this, so that they could use it on their own projects. So for the first one, I just put the cloud and airplane, because you could see the ATC says the world. For this one, I added some other cutouts and a couple of adage tickets to this one. And I didn't, as you can see, I didn't really decorate the background cards. I just distressed them with distress ink, but I didn't really decorate them because I felt like the embellishments that I put inside were the decoration. I don't know. That's just how I did it. And so I have a little light bulb clip clipping those together, and a little star clip with some gold baker's twine on there. For this one, I slipped in a thing of halfback pearls that she could use. I'll show you the backs in a moment. And then for this one is a calendar themed ATC, so I put in one of the Tim Holtz clocks with the clock hands. I forgot what he calls those. But anyway, it's a little metal embellishment. And then for this one, I created a shaker card. And this I will take out to show you, because I think it's cute. So I took 2 of the ATCs that I had cut out from the paper collection, and I just took some acetate that I had and used some, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, pop dots or whatever. And I added some gold sequins and a little gold gear that I cut from gold paper using one of his dies. And I also put some distressed glitter in there. And it's just really cute. And I did make it too tight, or I filled it up too much, but it's cute. And then I went over the edges with some tissue tape, Tim Holtz tissue tape. So I thought that was cute. And then in the back I had a little wooden ruler embellishment that she could use on her project. For this one, I had created these two butterflies in the same way that I did the plane and the cloud, with the distress paint and stamps and embossing powder, ultra thick embossing powder. So these are just adhered lightly to the background, so she could take those off and use them in her projects. This dress form and spool is also using the ultra thick embossing powder, so she could remove those and use those as well, along with this arrow. And I know there's a glare. Along with this arrow. This arrow is one of the Tim Holtz you know, metal embellishments. I cut out this arrow on glitter paper, and here's one of the little tags that says Wander, and I thought that was appropriate for all the arrows. And then over here where it says Write, I put one of his pen nibs here and a wooden typewriter veneer, and this is where I'll insert my letter. So on the back of this, you can see I added some cutouts. I did some stamping, and I included some images that they could use when creating their card or tag. I included a flower from Recollections, some Adage tickets. These are more airplanes, airplane and clouds cut out from the Sizzix die that they could use in their projects as well. Here are some butterflies that I cut out of gold foil, and then another one of the butterflies that I had created using the chipboard and embossing powder. There's the ruler, a couple of wooden veneer clocks there. Over here I'll put something, I don't know, a piece of candy, or I don't know, I'll put something there, a little gift. This is a large geotag that I cut out of gold foil paper, and some geotagged stickers behind that, and some lace there. So that's how I put this together. I also added some washi tape down the side, and I did add some gold clips with some of the lace from Hobby Lobby, and a garment pin on the side here with some charms that would match the theme, like the penny farthing, and a key, and a Tim Holtz pin. I don't know what he calls these. But yes, so that's the first one. And then here's another one that I completed. I numbered this one as well on a little tag. And I will put, you know, the recipient's name on here, and then I signed it. So this is the overall look. I thought this is real cute. And again, I just cut out the ATCs that from his paper collection. And I think these are from Wildflower. I'm not sure, but from one of his paper collections. So in the first one, in the first section, you could see there that I added, I used the clock, what do you call it? The alarm clock, Tim Holtz alteration die, and I went over it with antique linen distress paint, and then the weathered wood distress paint, and then used the embossing powder, and it made a nice sturdy embellishment. She could use that. I created a bottle cap here, and this is a canvas tag and a key. It says Believe. Really sweet. I created the, using the Tim Holtz Alterations die with the bird in the cage, using the embossing powder again. These make really nice and sturdy embellishments. For the second row, I created the jalopy, which this came out so cool. I know there's a glare, but the jalopy came out really cool. And then the metal embellishment says, "Enjoy the journey," with the arrow pointing, if you could see that there. And then for this, I created another shaker pocket. This one I put in less sequins so that it actually would shake, but I put in pink and gold sequins to make it a little more feminine, and I created it in the same way, and I added these gold foil gear and crown. That's from a punch I have on the back. And like I said, she could remove all of these embellishments without a problem. They're just lightly adhered so that they do stay in place. And then for this one, you could see the ATC card says bingo. It has the bingo cards all over it. So I added some Tim Holtz bingo markers, and there's a couple of clips on here with lace. For this one, I added some pink halfback pearls that will just lift. They're on acetate, so they'll lift right out, with some gold butterflies. Here's the camera embellishment that I created using the alteration die and stickles and embossing powder, with a star clip there. And if you could see the ATC card in the background there, it's just a bunch of photographs, so I thought that worked out really well. And then over here, the typewriter, the Tim Holtz typewriter die, and gold glittered arrow, and it just says journal, so I'll put my letter there. Whoops, my feathers came out. So on the back side here, for the goodies, for this one with the bird on the front, I put these feathers that I cut using a die in the gold foil paper and gray paper. Over here I put the lock that goes with the key that's on the front, and I cut out the lock and key from the alterations die, a wooden clock, and also one of the metal clocks from the Tim Holtz metal embellishments. Over here are my stamped images that she could use in creating her card or tag, along with more cloud and airplane cutouts. Here are some bingo cards that I cut out of the paper collection for the front that has the bingo cards. Here's a film strip, and this is the other side of that camera. So here's a piece of the Tim Holtz film strip and a wooden veneer camera, and then also a couple of doilies. So those are the first two that I've created. Whoops. And also I put some Tim Holtz tissue tape here along the side, and I did add some charms on the side here that she could use in her projects as well. So I think it looks really cute when the embellishments are all set in there, but everything is usable and could be pulled out and used on her projects. So I did create a couple more, but I'll create a separate video for them. I obviously did some beach themed ones, so I'll share those in a moment. Thank you. Bye-bye.